Hey, everybody, happy Monday. If there was ever a happy Monday, today's episode will be about a real estate scam that's actually been going on quite a while, since the early 2000s, if not before. And it's called home title theft. And perhaps you've seen the commercials or heard the radio spots. Some of them feature Newt Gingrich, the former Speaker of the House, who's the spokesperson for Home Title Lock. And you also have seen a gentleman named Matthew B. Cox, who is considered to be the messiah of mortgage fraud. In the early 2000s, up to about 2005, 2006, Matt Cox was probably he was on the Secret Service most wanted list for mortgage fraud. And one of his scams, he served 12 years in prison. He now has a very successful podcast on YouTube where he does inside crime. He actually he's written a lot of books, mainly with about inmate stories of he was incarcerated with in Coleman Federal Prison in Florida. One of them was Efren Deveroli, who was played by Jonah Hill in the movie War Dogs. But going back to home title theft, it's actually very prevalent. And I want real estate investors and everyday, homeowners to know about this crime because it's vicious. You often won't know you're victimized. The police aren't going to call you. Your bank's not going to call you. Um, you can sometimes then find out via getting foreclosed on. You've paid your payments to the mortgage company, but what the thief will do is that I'll go into a little bit of how Matthew Cox worked and some of the things, but what the thief would do is he would basically um, take over with a fake ID, submit fake documents to a bank, to the mortgage company, and even to the local title clerk at the county or the city that you reside in, satisfaction of mortgage, and then they would basically take over your property. They would say it was free and clear. These generally they have a fake identity, and they will take your basically take your property. You won't even know it. You'll get the foreclosure notice, things like that, all of a sudden, and sometimes they'll sell your property to a wholesaler or a real estate investor who who thinks it's a free and clear title. So they're all excited because there's more money. The thief, maybe the house is worth 200,000, maybe the thief will take 50,000 or 25,000. In some cases, a thief may actually go and take a satisfaction mortgage, go into banks and take out lines of credit and second mortgages on it. And the new banks don't know because they check with the title and say, oh, it's a free and clear title because it's all been legal. So it's a very prevalent crime. It's going on now. Matt Cox actually says that it's easier to do now than it was. So the home title lock company, it's actually worth it for people to invest that small monthly payment. I think they have an annual payment as well. Um, it's like getting LifeLock for credit. They'll watch your mortgage. They'll monitor it for you and let you know if it goes on. So what Matt Cox has also did, and he goes in detail on his YouTube. I mean, you can also go on the Concrete podcast, Concrete spelled with a K, and Matt's been on there about 25 times, and he goes into deep detail on the things he's done. But one of the things he did is he was a graphic arts design major in college, and so he has a lot of art skills. He actually sells a lot of artwork now. It's a pretty good artwork, portraits and stuff like that. He's done more Marilyn Monroe, President Trump, a few other people, yeah, a lot of artwork. So what he would do is he would create using the same paper as birth certificates. He would create a fake, it's actually a real, fake birth certificate, but so real. He would go to the Social Security office, and the Social Security office would think it's real for an infant. Sometimes the infant was maybe an infant that died at birth or was a miscarriage or something, and they have a name, and he's able to put their actual documents on it. Being a male, he's able to go in and as a dad of a 8, 9, 10-month-old baby, if a mom goes in there, they're going to wonder where's the baby. Dad going to the Social Security office to set up the baby's Social Security account, which happens all the time. Most parents are opening their Social Security number right away. they'll issue them a real social security card. So then what he would do is he would then go to the DMV, get a real driver's license. So all of a sudden his birth certificate's real, the social security card is real, and the driver's license is real. And so then he would go and open 3 secured credit accounts, and he'd put, $500 in them. He'd pay the payments for about 4 or 5, 6 months. So all of a sudden his credit score is 700, 720. And then he would go with real documents with his picture on the driver's license. He would go to banks and he would take out a mortgage, fraudulent mortgage. In his first few scams, he would actually did the whole whiteout thing, adjust W-2s and employment records and take off credit, things like that. There were some ways to do it. You could redact it, you could white it out, you could do things. And that's how he got in trouble the first time when he got put on probation. And then later on, he went all in. The Secret Service and FBI estimated that he stole about $50 million from banks. He says about under 10 is what he says. He's currently on the hook for about $5 million of restitution after he was released in 2019. But this is a very easy crime to do. So he would also go into the banks and take out lines of credit. He would, in one case, he took out $1 million on one house that was only worth about $250,000. He talks about several stories on his podcast and the Concrete and some other ones with like Patrick Bet David, things like that. He would talk about how easy it was. Some of it's actually pretty entertaining and funny when he tells the story. He's actually a very charming and entertaining person, as a lot of con men are. And so I want people to be aware that home title theft is real. It's legitimate. It's probably just worse than identity theft. So I wanted to let investors know, as well as just everyday people, that this is real, and you should be you should get the protection, but you should also just be aware when you're a real estate investor or a wholesaler that if you get a free title, you get a free and clear title, you may want to do a little deep dive on it and see and check and see what if the title company can do a search and go back and find out what the circumstances are. Do these people actually pay their mortgage off? Are they the homeowners? Some people have actually had their homes sold by wholesalers to wholesalers and then by wholesalers while they're still living in there and they have no idea. And all of a sudden, the new owners are like, well, who are these people living in this house I just bought to invest in, to flip or to rent? So it is a very prevalent and real crime. So I'm going to do some deep dives into this one as well, and come back with another episode where I'll try to do some interviews with some people. But we'll talk about this one and other scams. I just wanted to let you guys know about this one because it is ongoing, and you're hearing a lot of commercials, radio spots, things like that with obviously Speaker Gingrich and Matt Cox. So I thank you for watching this episode, and please like, share, and subscribe on the YouTube channel. You also, as a subscriber, you'll get access to the private Facebook group where I have a ton of templates, forms, lender list, borrower's checklist, different samples of loan applications, things like that you may run across as a real estate investor. You can also white label these to use them on your own. And we'll do several all the course materials for private money brokers, for wholesalers, flippers, how to get into multifamily syndications and all that. All you got to do is like, share, and subscribe. And so just thank you again. Please like, share, and subscribe. And I thank you for watching.